Welcome back to the Smart Reactors Podcast. It's great to have you back again. If you're new for the first time, I'd like to say you're very welcome. This podcast series is all about discussing the science and the innovation behind medical device coatings and the future in patient care. In our previous episodes over the last few weeks, we have discussed a wide range of topics from hemocompatible, the differences between hemocompatible and hydrophilic coatings, as well as the current and the future trends in medical device coatings on the market. We'd like to dive a little bit deeper in today's conversation, and in today's episode I'd like to discuss camouflage coating, Smart Reactors camouflage coating on implantable devices. So I'm joined today by Andrew Spring.
Thanks, Gillian. Happy to be here.
It's great to have you here, Andrew. Thank you. So I suppose to kick today's podcast off, Andrew, could you tell us a little bit about what camouflage is and how does it work?
Camouflage is a proprietary coating technology developed here in Smart Reactors a number of years ago, and its main application is for blood contacting medical devices. So this could be implants, as we're going to talk about today, such as heart valves, stents, venous stents, flow diverters, neurovascular products, and also products outside of the body, such as for dialysis or perfusion. And the main purpose of camouflage is to reduce thrombus formation and to promote endothelialization. So thrombus formation, a more colloquial term for this, is clotting. So whenever blood comes into contact with foreign materials, it starts to clot. It thinks the vasculature is bleeding and it wants to stop the blood from leaving the vasculature. The other aspect that camouflage focuses on is endothelialization. Another way to describe this is healing or device healing into the body, cells adhering to the device's surface and growing and proliferating and eventually fully covering the device. And at this stage then we like to say that the device is fully healed.
Sounds great, Andrew. So it solves two key problems, which, as you said there, was the reduction of thrombus formation, and you said the promotion of endothelial cells. Well, that's great. So it's a dual coating.
Exactly, yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
I can explain a little bit how the mechanism of action works.
Yeah, I'd love to hear.
Perfect. So when camouflage is applied to the device's surface, when this implant is then placed into the body, into the vasculature, when it's interacting with the blood, the first event that occurs is that non-inflammatory proteins from the patient's own blood adhere to the device surface. And this is why we like to call it camouflage, because this effectively conceals the device from the rest of the blood, and it reduces the foreign body response. Platelets are less likely to activate, and the clotting cascade is reduced. Additionally, these non-inflammatory proteins provide a perfect foundation for cell attachment and growth and proliferation.
Andrew, that sounds really interesting. Could you tell us maybe why you think, in your opinion, today is the right moment in the industry, or if there's any recent breakthroughs that have made maybe camouflage possible?
Of course. Well, I do believe that camouflage is a medical device breakthrough. It's an innovation. Historically, medical devices, particularly implants, were focused on inertness, not interacting with the body, not causing complications. However, we've seen that this can only go so far. Endothelialization may not be ideal. Clotting is still occurring. So camouflage flips this idea on its head and actively interacts with the body.
Very interesting. And could you tell us a little bit about, I suppose, how is camouflage applied then to a medical device, let's say?
Certainly. So camouflage is applied using a gentle water-based technology. This means that we don't use any harsh chemicals or solvents. We place our implants in water solutions with the coating chemicals and agitate, and within a matter of hours then you have a coated device. The system requires a low capital expenditure to set up, and you can be coating within a matter of hours. It's actually quite straightforward.
Okay, interesting. And how do you ensure that camouflage does not have any impact on maybe the device's mechanical structure or anything like that?
Okay, well, an aspect that makes Camouflage unique compared to the other coatings on the market is that we have ultra thin technology. It's in the nanometer scale, and this effectively, when Camouflage is applied, you can't see that it's there because it's so thin, and this reduces the change that the device has before and after coating. So all the simulations on mechanical testing or blood flow characteristics, these shouldn't be altered when Camouflage is applied to the device.
Okay, and you said that Camouflage is in the nanometer scale there. Would you know roughly how thick is the coating, or how thin?
Yeah, so it's around 19 nanometers thick. Yeah, so it's very thin, all right.
Absolutely. And I know you had previously mentioned earlier on that Camouflage coats a wide range of implantable devices. Could you give any device-specific examples, let's say?
Yes, devices we've previously coated without any failure, venous stents, arterial stents, coronary stents. In the neurovascular space as well, we've coated flow diverters, ICAD stents. Then also in the heart valves, atrial appendage occluders. So any device that we've coated with no issues. And kind of more broadly speaking, Camouflage is a very kind of flexible coating technology. It can be applied to almost any material. So say, for example, medical metals such as that are widely used, nitinol, cobalt, chromium. We've applied our coating to these substances without failure. And polymers such as PTFE, once again, we've done extensive testings here at our lab, and it's always come back positive.
It's great news. So quite a wide range of substrates then for Camouflage. That's great. And Andrew, in your opinion, where do you see Camouflage in the future, even 5 to 10 years from now? I know 5 to 10 years isn't a whole lot of time in the medtech industry, but in your opinion, where do you see the future of Camouflage?
All right, so in the next 5 to 10 years, I imagine you'll see Camouflage coated products commercially available on the market. And yeah, patients will be having stents or other implantable devices with Camouflage coated on them. We're currently actively engaging in coating trials with various device companies. So this is the natural evolution for Camouflage. And for Smart Reactors as a company, we are currently producing novel coating technologies.
Sounds great. Sounds really good. Andrew, if I was to give you, I suppose, a little bit of a scenario, if I was a customer to come to Smart Reactors and I was developing maybe a new device, why should I choose Camouflage coating more so than maybe the current coating technologies on the market? I know that PC and heparin are popular coating technologies out there right now. So what makes Camouflage unique, or why would I choose it?
Yeah, so that's a very good question, Gillian. And there's several kind of points I'd like to talk about here. But number one has to be performance. So we've performed our own in-house trials, testings here. We've performed tests in external labs, and also medical device companies have performed their own blood tests, both in vivo and in vitro. And consistently, Camouflage has outperformed the competition, the other coatings on the market, both in terms of reducing thrombus formation and endothelialization. As well as this, we reached this level of performance without being a drug-free coating. This is important because it reduces the complications for regulatory approval. And yeah, other than that, as I said before, we use a water-based chemistry. No harmful or harsh solvents are required. We have the ultra thin coating, doesn't affect the mechanical or the flow performances of the device. And another point is that Camouflage is available for license on a non-exclusive agreement. So Camouflage is available for all medical devices on the market.
Andrew, that sounds fantastic. A lot of positives. So to Camouflage Coating. Thank you so much for joining us on today's podcast. You've provided some really great and interesting insights into smart reactors and the coating technology that it provides. So thank you so much for joining us. It was great to have you on. We hope to have you back soon. So that concludes today's podcast episode on camouflage coating on implantable devices. Stay tuned and join us in the next episode where we will be discussing the testing and the validation of camouflage on implantable devices. Thank you so much for joining us, and we will see you soon.